Switch to sport mode. Let's try the acceleration. Wow, this is so scary. Hello everyone, I'm Jim. Which car am I driving now? That's right, it's a brand new generation of Xiaomi SU7. The attention of this car has been very high recently. We got the test drive experience first. For such a car, I think it must be driven in order to talk to you more thoroughly. In fact, our company has two self-purchased Xiaomi long-term test cars, SU7 and SU7. Both are Max versions. Then the brand new SU7 we got today also happens to be the Max version. I drive a lot of the two cars in that company every day. So today's video I will take you to see what upgrades and surprises the new generation of Xiaomi SU7 has brought us in terms of chassis dynamics from the perspective of a long-term user. So let's talk about the parameters first. Then this Xiaomi SU7 Max uses front and rear dual motors, which is about 691 horsepower. It's a terrifying statistic. That kind of power brings its 0-100 acceleration time to 3.8 seconds. Although the acceleration of this car is very fast, but it still has a CLTC range of 835 kilometers. So from a parametric perspective, it basically achieves both high performance and long battery life. And because of one of the power distribution characteristics of this car, the rear motor is much more powerful than the front motor. So this time, the rear tire width of all models has been upgraded to 265 mm. So you can obviously feel that the stability of the rear of the car will be better when you drive. Okay, let's put the parameter part aside for now. Let's talk about some specific driving experiences of this car. First of all, for such a car, the first question that everyone must be most concerned about is how its electric door is adjusted. And I can tell you that in every mode of this car, the electric pedal is very distinct. First of all, our current gear is in comfort mode. The overall power of the switch is relatively light. And when you step on it, the power will come more slowly, but it is very confident. It's like the endless flow of a river. So if you think comfort mode is a little too slow and want some passion, then turn the knob to the right to switch to sports mode. And you can almost immediately feel the personality of the car changing. The first is the electric pedal. The feedback is obviously going to get heavier. And as long as you step on it a little harder. So you see, the momentum is coming right away. It's on call. It's really exaggerated, but just because the power is powerful doesn't mean it's difficult to handle. Because in my experience I found that its door pedal has a relatively small virtual space in such a range of about 10% opening. Look, I'm going to simulate it. Although I step on it, but the speed is only slowly increased. It didn't say that as soon as you step on it, it will jump out. The advantage of this design is that it will be easier to follow the car in the daily process. After all, although I have switched to the sport mode, but I may not have a very clear road at all times to allow me to make some sharp accelerations and decelerations. So in such a small virtual space, it will be easier to follow the car. You don't need to frequently adjust the driving mode. Of course, if you occasionally have to lend your car to a friend or ask a chauffeur to drive it, there is also a new owner management mode. In this mode you can directly limit the maximum power and top speed of the vehicle. So these features are ultimately for increased security. Say before turning to part, so I thought we'd start by talking a little bit about the steering wheel that I'm holding. Its overall style is basically the same as our SU7 Max. There are some minor adjustments, but the top and bottom of this steering wheel are made of carbon fiber, and on either side is this Alcantara flipping fur. The grip is very solid. There is a circle of red loop logo in the middle of the steering wheel. Then such a color scheme and design can inspire a very strong driving desire. The steering ratio of this car is 12.5 to 1. That for reference, the average family car is about 15:1. So from this data you can probably know that the steering of this car is relatively sensitive. Now I'm changing lanes. Look. Basically, the response speed of this front of the car is very fast. And the rear of the car does a great job of following. I'm in comfort mode. You can see that when it shakes left and right like this, it still has a certain void in the middle. It makes it easier for you to move at high speed or low speed. But when I change the driving mode to sport, the left and right will obviously be much smaller. I'm basically moving the steering wheel a little bit and the locomotive starts moving. That kind of adjustment is actually very good for driving control, because it gives you the feeling that you can hit wherever you want. But if you say that your daily driving doesn't want so much blood, I think it's good to put it in the comfort mode. In terms of the hardware of the chassis, this Max version is basically given to the top. It has CDC shock absorber and dual-chamber air suspension. The suspension has an adjustable range of 50 mm, with a total of 4 height settings. That CDC is providing comfort, sport, and sport plus third gear damping. Then match it with Xiaomi Xiaolong chassis. The speed bumps ahead can be identified by sensors in advance, potholes, and adjust the suspension state in advance. When it actually passes, its vibration processing will be softer. Another interesting feature is the chassis height memory function. For example, if you adjust the suspension to high, the vehicle will record a range of 50 meters around the perimeter. Next time you drive into that area, it will automatically rise. For example, in scenarios like entering or exiting a basement garage, there's no need to adjust it manually every time, which can reduce the risk of bottoming out. This is also a very practical function, and because this is a Max version, it is equipped with an exclusive master mode, which can be seen in the app. The interface can display motor temperature, oil temperature, power output, G value, and other information. It looks very professional hardcore, and also supports some parameter adjustments such as drift mode and racing mode. For friends who like to study performance, I think the playability will be higher. The brakes are equipped this time with front 4-piston brake calipers. Our Max version is also upgraded on the brake pads. It adopts a low metal solution, which has better overall high temperature resistance, with Brembo calipers and perforated brake discs. Therefore, the overall braking performance will be significantly improved compared with the current model. And this time, the optimization of the brake foot feel is indeed more obvious. I'll have a feeling when I take my first foot off this car. I'm obviously driving a SU7 Max, but why is this brake texture so similar to the SU7 Ultra I've driven before? It's very linear and solid. After stepping on it, the confidence given to people is very sufficient. Finally, the most concerned chassis texture. I drove the company's old SU7 Max for a long time. I know its character very well. The whole is biased towards sports and hard, and the road feeling is very clear. That's an advantage, but comfort does have certain shortcomings. Then on the new generation of SU7, it has obviously strengthened in this regard. After adjusting to a comfort gear that is more suitable for daily commuting, you will feel that it has indeed become a lot more comfortable overall. The feedback of the chassis will become softer. Of course, this kind of soft does not mean that it is soft like a 5-meter SUV that swings a boat. It's more like a soft and tough texture overall. Then in the face of some fine bumps or small ditches, it will no longer pass in as hard as before. Bang bang bang, that feeling, but become more gentle. The advantage of this is to maintain the advanced texture of the chassis while it also brings more comfortable driving and riding performance. Overall, the butt will be more comfortable. So the above chassis performance I think is the most obvious change in this generation of models. It doesn't throw away the foundation of the movement, but it's a huge improvement in terms of comfort. That old model might be a bit of an unconventional driver's car, but the new model has found a more balanced and mature state between performance and daily life. So the texture of the chassis really surprised me. At the same time, in the high-speed cruise state, I can feel that the NVH is also optimized. Wind noise and fetal noise are generally more stable. The carriage will be quieter than the old model. In fact, in terms of appearance, the new SU7 is basically unchanged from the old model. The biggest one is right here. In addition, it has a very core upgrade point, which is security. But many people may not notice that. It is the door handle this time, although it also retains the function of electric door opening. But with the addition of mechanical structure, look, you can lift it with force like this. That in terms of unlocked power, in addition to power batteries and small batteries, it also adds an additional reserve power supply, so it can ensure that the door can be opened smoothly in any situation. The interior of the new SU7 is actually the continuation of the driver-centered overall design idea of the old model. It adjusts mainly in this area in the middle. The buttons that were arranged vertically before are now replaced by horizontal buttons. Then in terms of this cup holder, it has also been replaced with 2 horizontal cup holders. I do feel more comfortable using it than the vertical one. I personally think the seat of the new SU7 will be softer than the old one. It also has thicker padding, so it will be more comfortable to sit down for long distances. As for the space performance of the back row, I have also measured it for you. You can refer to it. This time, the new SU7 still has sufficient hardware specifications, and the performance foundation is also very online. It's fast enough, steady enough, neat enough. You can even touch the texture of the SU7 Ultra, and most importantly, it's not just about pleasing the driver this time. It becomes more practical, more balanced, more versatile. It's suitable for daily use. Okay, that's all about the dynamic test drive experience of this Xiaomi SU7 Max. If you have any questions about it, you can leave a message to us in the comment area.